So around this time, my family and I had only been in the States for only a short time, and my dad was the only one who had a cell phone with internet access. Scratch that. He was the only one with a cell phone because, money. And this one day, me and my brother and my dad went to the restaurant to get those noodles everybody needs, And as soon as the waiter had taken our orders, my brother and I immediately asked our dad to use his phone. More like we snatched it from him because, what were we supposed to do? Talk to each other? Engage in a family conversation? How's school been in the friendship? How are you dealing with a whole new country and trying to learn a whole new language from scratch situation? Yeah, no thanks. Because I don't know about you, but that would have felt more like an interrogation than a heartwarming family conversation. Anyway, my brother and I decided to look at funny YouTube videos, or at least I think it was supposed to be a funny video. What's important to know is that it was on YouTube. So we click on this video, right? Because it's supposed to be funny, right? And it was at first. My brother and I were absolutely losing it at the beginning. Now, here's the catch. The video was entirely in English. And thanks to a whole new language situation, there were a lot of parts I didn't quite understand. So there I was, sitting there, fake laughing every few seconds or so. Haha, yeah, I totally got that joke. At one point in the video, the dude says this word I never heard before, and then he keeps saying it like it's the most important word ever. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there what the fudge does this word even mean? You know how in every scary movie there's that one creepy, obvious haunted house that everyone knows to stay away from? But there's some oblivious, confident fool decide to go inside because, purchase muscle, sitting into another place of existence. Yeah, that was me. I had to know what this weird word meant, and it was about to send me to another place of existence too. So I turned to my brother all serious and asked, ¿Qué significa esa palabra, babe? What does this B word mean? And this guy, this absolute menace, just smirks and goes, I'm not telling you, like the villainous sibling that he is. Of course, now I'm millions more curious, spurring into an existential crisis over one random word. So I kept asking him, but he kept refusing. And dang it, I needed to know. I was obsessed with finding out what this word meant. Or so I thought. If I didn't get an answer, I was going to keep annoying him until he broke. And guess what? I totally did. But at what cost? It was during one of those moments when my frustration had officially hit its boiling point. My dad, who was just trying to patiently wait for his meal to arrive, finally snapped, "Ya apúrate y dile," which for those who don't speak Spanish means, just hurry up and tell her already. Now here's the kicker. My dad didn't know what the word meant either. So yeah, this whole situation was about to go out of control. Now because my brother was taking his sweet time, I thought it would be a good idea to practice saying this B word aloud, so they will hopefully convince him. Plus, I needed to practice my English, so at the time I really did think it would be a great idea. But oh boy, how wrong I was. So I turned to my brother and with all the innocent confusion in the world asked, ¿Qué significa la palabra p***? What's that word mean? And just so you know, I didn't whisper like a normal person would because, it was an unknown word to me, so I thought I should have taken precautions. But nope, no. I had to make it a full-on spectacle. So con todo pecho, I asked it out loud. And that's when I noticed it. Every single person in the restaurant passed mid-bite or mid-sip to turn and look at us. Yes, everyone. Okay, may not me, but you get the point. And maybe you have clicked and maybe, just maybe, that B word was not exactly a cute word. But nope, that thought completely missed my brain. And since from their perspective, the only word they heard me saying in English was the information and still mysterious to me and my dad wording. The reaction was understandable. After all, I can only imagine their imagination running wild while trying to fill in the blanks. Meanwhile, my brother's face was turning a brighter shade of red and stop sign. He looked like he was about to continually combust because of my totally innocent question had suddenly turned the entire restaurant into probably his worst nightmare. Leaning in, he whispered to me, clearly angry, Okay, I'll tell you, but shut up. So, after much persuasion, my brother finally told me what that B word meant. And well, let's just say that I was a very innocent little kid, okay? Okay, fine. Not the most innocent of them all, but I was definitely a few levels away from full-on troublemaker, okay? And honestly, that was a new kind of information I had to take in, as I didn't even know that was a thing that happens. So yeah, it took me a minute to process this mirror life revelation, and then I was like, oh okay, I get it now. And while my brother and I were in this life-altering conversation, our dad sat there, patiently waiting for his meal to arrive, with nothing but a frantic whisper for entertainment. Not even with his phone to pass the time, since Whistle, he very willingly gave us his phone. Clearly wanting to engage in this wholesome family conversation, he casually asked us, "So what did this B word mean anyway?" I looked at him dead serious and told him, "It's probably better if you don't know." Thank you so much for watching to the very end. May your day be graced with splendor and the most purest of joys until our paths meet again.